blast from the past. Remember when you laughed.
Hi everyone and welcome to Big Kids TV Podcast, the podcast where we take a look into the classic kids shows that made us who we are today. I'm Chris and today we're going way back to the very early days of television to talk about Muffin the Mule. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, what? Muffin the what? But trust me, this little puppet mule was the original children's TV star. Before Peppa Pig, before Postman Pat, and even before the Muppets, there was Muffin. So how did this dancing wooden mule become one of the most important figures of British TV history? Stick with me and we'll find out. Alright, let's set the scene. The year is 1946. World War II has ended. Television is still a brand new thing. And most people in the UK don't even own a television yet. But the BBC is experimenting with this exciting new medium, and they decide to create some content for children. Enter Annette Mills, a talented pianist and storyteller. She teams up with Anne Hogarth and Jan Bossel, a husband and wife puppeteering duo who have a quirky little marionette of a mule. That puppet, you guessed it, Muffin the Mule. On October the 20th, 1946, Muffin made his first appearance on For the Children, a BBC show aimed at young audiences. He danced on top of Annette Mills' piano, responding to her songs and stories, and before long, kids all over the country were hooked. Think about it. This was before children's TV even existed. There were no cartoons, no CGI, no flashy graphics. Just a woman at a piano, a wooden puppet on strings, and some good old-fashioned storytelling. Now, Muffin wasn't just a solo act. Like any good TV character, he had a supporting cast. A bunch of quirky animal friends who made the show even more fun. Some of the most memorable characters include Oswald the Ostrich. Not the most sharpest beak in the barn, but a lovable guy. Monty the Monkey, always up to some kind of mischief. Grace the Giraffe, the elegant and graceful one. Peregrine the Penguin, waddling around just doing his thing. And Katie the Kangaroo, energetic, bouncy, well, as you'd expect. Each character had their own personality, and Annette Mills brought them to life with song, humour and warm storytelling. Each episode was light on plot, but focused on gentle adventures and moral lessons. The show was intended to feel personal and warm, almost like a one-on-one interaction between Annette and the viewer, which was groundbreaking in early children's television. The core themes of Muffin the Mule were friendship, imagination and playful curiosity, all presented in a slow-paced, reassuring style that made it a comforting presence for children growing up in post-war Britain. You might be wondering, why did people love a wooden puppet so much? Well, there's a few reasons. First off, Muffin was one of the first TV characters kids could really connect with. Before him, children's entertainment mostly came from books or radio. Seeing Muffin talk to Annette Mills and react to her music made it feel like he was a real character. Secondly, it was a comforting, simple show in a tough time. Britain was recovering from the war, and families were looking for light-hearted entertainment. Muffin provided that. He was predictable, safe, and full of charm. And finally, this was revolutionary TV. Today, we take children's programming for granted, but in the late 1940s and early 50s, this was groundbreaking. Muffin really did pave the way for every children's show that came after. Sadly, every great show has to come to an end. In 1955, Annette Mills passed away, and without her, Muffin the Mule couldn't continue. But that wasn't the end of Muffin's story. Over the years, he popped up in books, toys, and even a revival in 2005 with a brand new animated series on CBeebies. It wasn't quite the same, but it did introduce Muffin to a whole new generation. Okay, so Muffin the Mule might not be the first name that comes to mind when we talk about classic kids TV, but his impact is huge. Think about it. Without Muffin, we might not have had Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men, Andy Pandy, Sooty and Sweep, Blue Peter, or even Sesame Street. He proved that kids' TV could work, that characters could be beloved, and that television wasn't just for adults. So, if you ever hear someone talking about Muffin the Mule, now you know. He wasn't just a puppet. He was in fact a pioneer. And that's it for today's episode of Big Kids TV Podcast. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review and share it on your socials. And if you've got a memory of Muffin or there's another classic show you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep watching, keep remembering, and keep being a big kid at heart.
Big Kids TV Podcast, bringing back the blast from